Oh, I lost signal there for a second. Hey, gang, nice to see you. Um, some interesting stuff to talk about in this episode. This is RV stuff from the future. This is all astronomy stuff. This is stuff been allowed to share with you guys very graciously from one of the projects that I'm involved in that has a all transparency thing, and that is, of course, Sidekick with Sam and Vamsy and all those incredible guys and ladies at GEC. So this is just some remote viewing of the future of astronomy. And this is stuff that I did exclusively, so I will take the blame for if it is wrong in the future when I'm not here to take the blame physically. But I think a majority of the early stuff is all going to prove to be right. And so, okay, here we go. You don't want to do that on camera. I used to think that life throughout the universe was very common, but now I see that it is ubiquitous, and it's ubiquitous all the way down to the microbial level. We will find life scattered in just space. And this is because a lot of these moons and planets are not only receiving impacts, but some of the moons that are liquid moons around planets are filled. They're basically like algae machines and geoflexing and spraying tremendous amounts of algae right into space. So we're going to find, microbial life on basically all over the place. We're going to find it all over the solar system. And we're going to find out ultimately that life was from Mars. Life on Earth was from Mars. But the thing we'll find out further after that is that there's deep speculation that it originally actually came from Venus. There was water once on Venus, there's water once on Mars, and then here. And it's kind of gone in that hopscotch pattern. So that will be found out. There's currently life on Titan, Europa, Enceladus. They're going to find that basic microbial life on was it Enceladus? They're going to find that really basic one, Achaea, a really new form of this basic form of life that was found just in the past 10 years or something like that. And they'll find that right on the crust, right at those cracks. And it's going to be orange. Going to have an orange hue to it, orangey brown. And there's going to be a tremendous amount of it. And underneath the surface, they're going to find both Europa and Europa. There's going to be more bioluminescent life. And at the vents, there are seams, just like in the United States. The speculation about the geoflexing, it's much more extreme there. So it doesn't have like plates like we have. It has fractures all over the place. And so those fractures have those life forms, and a variety of life forms we've never even seen before. But a lot of them are so deep in the water that they take on a very different shapes and need bioluminescence. So there's a lot of bioluminescence in space in general, but there is definitely an Enceladus, Titan, and Europa. So there's 3 right there that have life, and we will find life on Mars. We developed several different times, local time and universal time and planet time, all that stuff. We're going to find out that rings I saw a news story the other day. It was kind of funny about, they were startled to find rings around an asteroid, a ring around an asteroid. And they're going to find out that rings are just a normal part of impacts, and that Saturn's rings came from an impact. They don't know where Saturn's rings came from an impact. And that all objects that receive a big enough impact, or the right impact in the right way, will receive rings. And I think it has to be at an oblique angle. And that they will even find that suns that have collided create rings. So even from the largest objects down to small meteorites and meteoroids, if they're composed of fine enough material, can create rings as well. So we will discover in the future both the really small ringed objects and the really ultra large ringed objects as well. Gravitons, of course, we'll find the gravitons. There's 2 new forces, a bunch of 5 new particles. Well, I guess now we could go into some of this other stuff, which is, cold fusion is just right. It's here now. we're going to find out that resonance and vibration allows you to connect between different fields, and that unleashes a lot of different forces. Harmonics are the nature of connecting two different kind of fields in a very special place. And those places are the things that oftentimes unleash anti-gravity and cold fusion and many, many things. Part of the problem with the Fermi paradox is what is the solution to the Fermi paradox? There's several layers to this onion, but one obvious fact is that biological life ultimately has an option to go non-biological. All forms of biological life have an option at some point to go non-biological, and that option is so appealing for so many different reasons that most civilizations do that. And these technological, post-biological civilizations are spreading very quickly throughout the universe. I think the reason why there's a lot more darkness in the universe and quiet is because that everyone is fearful of a more advanced civilization, and that the biologicals are concerned about the non-biologicals, the post-biologicals. And I would think that the biologicals would hold out to help the other biologicals, and despite vast evolutionary differences, would always try to support biologicals. Some of the other stuff to get into, and I think that's a good enough amount of things to chew on for this one. So I've got another few chunks to deliver, and some ideas about our visitors and what perhaps is going on there. So would love to hear your guys' thoughts on these simple things. It's just some simple thoughts.